I won't marry his woman. I say it slowly, not because I doubt it, but because I want the weight of it to settle in the air between us. You're not here, yet you feel close enough to hear my breath change when I say your name in my head. You belong to a world that already claimed you, wrapped you in rules, titles, expectations, but none of that ever asked what you wanted. I did, I still do. And wanting you was never gentle for me. It was a decision carved in stone the moment I realized I would rather be your sin than someone else's blessing. You think I don't see the fear behind your silence, but I do. I hear it every night when the palace goes quiet and even the guards forget how to breathe. You wonder how a man like me can want something that isn't offered, something already marked. But that's exactly why I want you. You were never meant to be chosen politely. You were meant to be taken with intention, claimed with certainty, and kept where no one can reach you except me. I don't need your permission to feel this way, but I want your surrender because it tastes different when it's given. I am not speaking to convince you. I'm speaking because these words rot inside me if I don't let them out. You should know that every path I walk eventually bends toward you. Every deal, every smile, every controlled silence hides the same truth. I am rearranging my world so there is space only for you beside me. You don't stand in front of me now, but I imagine your eyes looking away, pretending you don't feel this pull. You do. If you didn't, my voice wouldn't follow you like a shadow. You worry about him, about what he represents, about the consequences, about the names people will call you. Listen to me. Names don't scare me. Wars don't scare me. What scares me is a future where you exist somewhere I cannot touch. I won't live that life. I won't be the man who watched destiny pass by because it belonged to someone else on paper. Papers burn. Promises break. But what I feel for you has survived every rule I was raised to obey. I don't ask you to be innocent. I don't need you to be pure. I need you to be honest with yourself first and then with me. When you lie awake at night, when the world goes quiet, you hear me there. That's not guilt. That's recognition. You already know what it would feel like to stand beside me, to let the chaos settle because you chose the man who would burn kingdoms just to keep you safe. So hear this even if you pretend not to. I will marry you, not because I stole you, not because I forced fate, but because in the end, you will walk toward me on your own. And when you do, I won't apologize for wanting you. I won't explain myself to anyone. I'll just take your hand, look at the world that tried to keep us apart, and prove that some loves are not meant to be good. They are meant to be inevitable. I know you think silence can protect you, that if you don't answer me, this feeling will eventually learn to starve. But silence has never stopped me. It only sharpens my focus. When you disappear into your quiet, I step deeper into my resolve. You're not here, yet I speak as if you are, because distance has never weakened my voice in your mind. You hear me when the world asks you to pretend, when you smile out of habit, when you lie to yourself about peace. I am there, patient, unrelenting, waiting for you to admit what already owns you. You don't understand how carefully I've thought this through. This isn't madness, it's precision. Every fear you carry, every doubt you hide behind reason, I've weighed them all and still chose you. You think love should hesitate, should ask permission, should bow to circumstance. Mine doesn't. Mine stands straight and looks fate in the eye. I don't promise you ease, I promise you certainty. With me, you will never wonder where you stand, never beg for clarity, never feel invisible. I will make the world loud enough that it cannot ignore you. You are afraid of what you lose, but you haven't considered what you'll gain. Freedom doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes it looks like someone finally taking responsibility for you. I would take that burden gladly. Let them call me cruel, obsessive, ruthless. I've won worse names with pride. What matters is that when the night closes in and you feel small, my presence will be absolute. You won't have to ask to be chosen. You already are. I don't need you in front of me to know your reactions. I know the way your breath would hitch at certain words, the way your fingers would tense as if holding onto something invisible. You tell yourself to resist, to be strong, to do what's expected. But strength isn't always refusal. Sometimes it's stepping into the fire because you know you won't survive the cold. I am that fire, and you've been warming your hands near me for far too long to pretend otherwise. You wonder if I see you as a prize. No, prizes are displayed and forgotten. I see you as a decision, one I make every single day, even on the days I hate myself for wanting you this much. I still choose you. That's the part you don't escape. I don't love you in moments, I love you in permanence, and permanence changes people. It reshapes lives. It destroys the illusion that you were ever meant to be ordinary. Let me be honest in a way no one else dares. I won't save you from yourself. I'll claim you with all that you are. Your flaws don't repel me, they anchor me. Your fear doesn't weaken my desire, it feeds it. I don't want a perfect version of you. I want the one who trembles, who doubts, who still listens when my voice cuts through the noise. That version of you is real, and real things are worth fighting dirty for. So keep your distance if you must. Keep pretending this is one-sided, imaginary, impossible. I can wait longer than your denial can last. One day, when the world disappoints you the way it always does, you'll remember these words and realize they were never a threat, they were a promise. And when you finally turn toward me, I won't ask why it took you so long. I'll just open my arms and close the door behind you. I don't chase you the way desperate men do. I let the truth follow you instead, everywhere you go. It lingers like a question you're too afraid to answer out loud. You tell yourself this is dangerous, that I am danger, but you never stop listening. That's what binds you to me. Not fear, not force, but awareness. You know I see you more clearly than anyone ever has, even from a distance, even when you pretend I don't exist. You think power is loud, dramatic, reckless. You're wrong. Power is quiet control, the kind that doesn't need to touch to leave marks. I don't need to stand in front of you to command your attention. My absence already does that. I speak to you like this because you understand language, not because I need an answer. Answers come later. First comes acceptance. First comes the moment you stop lying to yourself about how inevitable this feels. I imagine the nights when you sit alone, replaying conversations that never happened, arguments you rehearse, just in case you ever face me. You build defenses in your head, but every wall has a door you keep unlocked. You call it hope or curiosity or weakness. I call it instinct. Your instincts recognize mine. That's why no matter how far you go, you never truly leave. I am not the man who will ask you to choose between me and your world. I am the man who will become your world so completely that the question dissolves on its own. You won't notice the shift at first. One day you'll wake up and realize the center of your thoughts has moved, that your definition of safety has changed, that the idea of a life without me feels empty in a way you can't explain. You fear losing control, but control is overrated when it's built on denial. With me, you won't have to perform, pretend, or shrink. I don't want you manageable. I want you honest, loud when you need to be, silent when words fail. I will carry the weight of what you can't say. That's not possession, that's devotion sharpened into something unbreakable. I won't paint myself as a hero for you. Heroes leave when the story demands it. I stay, even when it's ugly, even when it costs me, even when the world would rather see me step back. My loyalty isn't conditional on comfort or approval. It exists because once I decide something is mine, I don't abandon it halfway, especially not you. So take your time. Doubt me. Fight this in your head as long as you need to. I'm not rushing what's already moving toward me. One day you'll realize I never pulled you closer. You walked here on your own. And when that moment comes, when you finally stop resisting the truth, you'll understand why I never begged. I was never afraid of losing you. I knew you'd find your way back. You keep telling yourself that distance equals safety, but distance has only ever made you think more clearly about me. When I don't speak, my words echo louder in your head. You replay them, reshape them, try to weaken them, but they don't bend. That's because they were never meant to trap you. They were meant to name what already exists. I'm not pulling you out of your life. I'm simply standing at the place where your truth keeps arriving, whether you welcome it or not. You assume my certainty means I don't doubt, but that's where you misunderstand me. I doubt everything except you. I doubt people, systems, traditions, even myself, but not this. What I feel for you survived logic, restraint, and time. That's not obsession. That's clarity earned the hard way. I didn't wake up one day and decide this. I arrived here after exhausting every reason not to want you and realizing none of them mattered enough. You worry that choosing me would mean losing yourself. I see it differently. I see you finally stopping the slow erasure you call compromise. You've spent so long becoming what's acceptable that you forgot what feels true. With me, you wouldn't disappear. You'd sharpen. You'd remember the parts of yourself you muted to survive. I don't want to rewrite you. I want to give you the space to be exact, even when that exactness scares you. I know you imagine confrontation, raised voices, dramatic endings. That's not how this ends. This ends quietly, with you understanding something about yourself that no one else dared to name. One day you'll realize you're no longer running, no longer arguing inside your head. You'll notice the calm first, then the decision beneath it, not because I demanded it, but because you finally stopped resisting what felt like home in a world that never offered you one. You think I'm patient because I'm confident. I'm patient because I respect the weight of what this means for you. I know you don't just step away from a life, you untangle from it. I won't rush that process. I won't reduce you to a moment of weakness. When you come to me, it will be with your eyes open, your spine straight, your choice intact. Anything less would insult us both. Don't mistake my restraint for distance. I'm closer than you think. I listen even when you don't speak. I recognize the shift in you before you do. That's not control, it's attention. Real attention, the kind that doesn't need constant presence to stay connected. I don't fade from your life when I'm not visible, because what's real doesn't require proof every day. And when you finally understand that this isn't about defiance or escape, but alignment, when you see that choosing me is choosing yourself without apology, I'll be here, not waiting on my knees, not standing in your way, just present, ready, certain. Because some connections don't end with persuasion or force. They end with recognition, and when that recognition settles into you, you'll know exactly why my voice never left you alone. You keep trying to define me as temptation, as a mistake you should outrun, but I am neither. I am the truth you keep postponing. You don't fall into me by accident. You walk toward me every time you choose honesty over comfort. I don't whisper lies to make you weak. I speak plainly so you stop pretending you're stronger without me. Strength isn't isolation. Strength is knowing where you belong and standing there without flinching. You imagine that loving me means surrendering control, but control was never yours to begin with. You've been surviving on borrowed expectations, borrowed duties, borrowed roles. I see how tired that makes you. With me, you wouldn't need to perform loyalty to a life that drains you. You could finally rest inside a choice that doesn't ask you to fracture yourself just to be accepted. I wouldn't cage you. I would give your chaos a direction. I know you're afraid of the way I see you. Not the polished version you show the world, but the one you hide when you're alone. The thoughts you don't confess, the hunger you don't name. I don't judge any of it. I recognize it. And recognition can feel like exposure when you've spent so long unseen. But understand this, I don't use your truth against you. I guard it. I keep it where no one else gets to touch it. You tell yourself that love should be gentle, that it should never feel like this heavy, consuming, unavoidable. That's a comfort lie people tell when they're afraid of depth. What we circle around isn't softness, it's gravity. It pulls because it's real, because it has weight, and weight changes the way you move through the world. Once you feel it, you can't go back to floating. I don't offer you escape. I offer you arrival, an end to the constant negotiation inside your head, an end to choosing what hurts less instead of what feels right. When you think of me, there's fear, but there's also relief. Don't ignore that part. Relief doesn't come from danger. It comes from alignment, from something finally making sense after too long in confusion. I won't tell you that everything will be easy. I won't promise you approval, applause, or peace from the outside world. What I promise is this: you will never doubt my intention. You will never question where you stand. You will never feel replaceable. I don't love in halves. I don't choose temporarily. When I claim something, I commit to the cost of it, and I already know the price of you. So keep listening, even if you don't answer yet. Let these words sit with you in the quiet moments you can't escape. I'm not chasing you through noise. I'm meeting you in silence. And one day, when you finally stop asking whether you should want this and start admitting that you already do, you'll understand something essential. I was never trying to convince you. I was simply speaking to the part of you that already knew